Hello my friends, in today's video you will find out what happened to the university student who became unrecognizable due to the recklessness of an irresponsible young man, who ended up taking the lives of two of her friends and leaving her deformed for the rest of her life. But before this video starts, please, so you don't forget, click like and subscribe to the Mira Histórias channel. Thank you. Even the least optimistic people have dreams, some big and others smaller, but no less important and significant. It happens that when these dreams come true, unexpected things can happen, turning our world upside down. When these works of fate are not good, we must face them with resignation, to perhaps serve as a warning to prevent others from going through bad things. After all, when we cannot change the past and the bad things that happened, we end up serving as an example so that the same thing does not happen to others. Today's protagonist, Jacqueline Saborito, who was an only child and lived with her father in Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, always dreamed of spending time in the USA to improve her English. In 1999, when she realized her dream by going to study in Texas, she couldn't contain her joy. She was only 20 years old at the time and had no idea that her American dream would end up becoming a nightmare. It all started on September 19, 1999, when Jacqua, as the young woman was affectionately nicknamed, was with friends at a birthday party. That, however, was not the only party happening in the area that night. Not far away, an 18-year-old named Reggie was drinking heavily at another party. He didn't care that he was drinking illegally. In the USA, the minimum age to drink is 21 and 16 to drive. All he wanted was to have fun, and he believed that the only way to do that was with a lot of beer. At some point in the night, he got into his car and went in search of another party. Reggie continued to drink all night, and when his path crossed Jaquie's, he was clearly no longer in a condition to drive. Late that night, Jaquie and her two friends were driving home. The three were completely sober. Reggie, on the other hand, was totally drunk. When the two cars crossed paths, Reggie lost control of his vehicle, swerved to the other side of the road, and crashed head-on into the car in which Jaquie and her friends were. The friends did not resist and lost their young lives instantly, but Jaquie was trapped under the car's dashboard and was still alive when the vehicle caught fire. Unable to move, she watched helplessly as the flames approached. Reggie was still conscious and managed to call for help, but when the emergency team arrived, the flames had already reached Jaquie. At first, they couldn't get the young woman out of the car. For 45 long seconds, they struggled to get her out of the burning vehicle while she screamed because of the intense pain. Then, suddenly, the screams ceased. After what seemed like an eternity, the firefighters managed to put out the fire and get Jaquie out of the car. She was unrecognizable, and her life was hanging by a thread. She was taken by helicopter to the nearest hospital and underwent emergency surgery that lasted hours. In the end, the doctors managed to save the girl's life. Her injuries, however, were extreme. Practically her entire body was burned, her fingers had to be amputated, and her eyes almost melted, leaving her close to becoming blind. Jaquie spent months undergoing surgeries and suffered excruciating pain every day. Her face and body were covered in scars, and she was barely recognizable. Her life would never be the same. While doctors fought to save Jaquie's life, Reggie was also taken to the hospital, but his injuries were limited to a few cuts and bruises. A blood test soon revealed that he was driving drunk. He was arrested and convicted of drunk driving and causing the death of Jaquie's two friends. For the girl and her father, this was a small consolation. Reggie was sentenced to a long sentence. The future that once seemed bright for the young athlete was now over. But his true penance would be to spend the rest of his life knowing that he had been responsible for the end of 2 innocent lives and for destroying the life of a third person. And all because of his wrong decision to drive drunk. He would give anything to have a second chance and change his decision, but now it was too late. Jackie tried her best to remain optimistic about the future. She continued with her language courses and, now that the pain is not so great, she tries to lead an active life. Her biggest priority is not to get lost. She has learned to live with the physical pain of the scars caused by the accident, but the emotional pain continues to haunt her. Since the accident, Jackie has undergone almost 120 surgeries, followed by medical bills worth $5 million United States dollars, and has made great progress. Still, she cannot escape the memories of that fateful night and the accident that took the lives of 2 of her friends and destroyed any hope she had of leading a normal life. And all because a drunk teenager decided to drive. Despite never recognizing her own face again, Jackie became a symbol of the fight against alcohol and driving. After everything she went through, she took it as her life's mission to warn other people about the risks of alcohol consumption by drivers. She didn't want what happened to her to happen to anyone else. In 2002, Jackie recorded a 30-second TV commercial that quickly became known in the United States and other countries. There was a huge response to her message. She received thousands and thousands of letters from people around the world thanking her for her efforts and the courage she had in speaking out against drunk driving, she told BBC News. In the video, her hands hold a picture frame covering her face. The image is of an old photo, in which she appears facing forward, smiling. She says, "My name is Jacqueline Sabarito. This is a photo of me before I was hit by a drunk driver, before the car caught fire, before 2 of my friends died, before I needed more than 40 surgeries." Still, before lowering the picture frame and revealing what she looked like after the procedures, she continues, "This is me while my life was like anyone else's at university." And then she shows her face with a final sentence, "This is me after being hit by a drunk driver." Jackie continued to collaborate with Texas authorities in the years that followed, creating posters, educational videos, and giving lectures on the subject. After the accident, she gave dozens of interviews around the world and was invited to speak twice on Oprah Winfrey's television program, the most famous presenter in the United States. "Even if I have to appear in front of the cameras without ears, without a nose, without eyebrows, and without hair, I would do it 1,000 times to help even just one person make the right decision," she said in an interview. A few years ago, the Venezuelan decided to move to Guatemala, where she could finally rest in peace. One of her cousins, Jose Sabarito, told the Statesman Portal from Austin that she passed away on April 20th, 2019, at the age of 40 as a result of cancer. The message is clear. People who drink and drive are not only putting themselves in danger, but also risking the lives of everyone around them. Reggie will never be able to forgive himself for the biggest mistake of his life. We can only hope that other people learn from this. We hope that Jackie can finally rest in peace. Her story and her struggle will never be forgotten. Please, if you also abhor the combination of driving and alcohol, help us spread the story of Jacqueline Sabarito so that no one else goes through what she went through. Don't forget to click like. With this simple gesture, you contribute a lot to our work and help us to spread this story. And if you happen to be new here, take the opportunity to subscribe to the Mira Histórias channel. so you will have easy access to our stories and updates. Thank you and see you in the next video.
Assista ao vídeo indicado.
Watch the dubbed video. Mira el video doblado. 吹き替え版の動画を見てね. شاهد الفيديو المدبلج. 더빙된 영상 봐. Regarde la vidéo doublée. Schau dir das synchronisierte Video an. Guarda il video doppiato. Смотри дублированное видео. Dub kiya hua video dekho. Dublajlı videoyu izle. Tonton video yang sudah didubbing.